Imagine your life being changed by a single dramatic moment. This is what happened to a top scientist in the Indian space program, Mr. Nambi Narayanan, when one day, 26 years ago, police officers knocked at his door. Working as the in charge of the Cryogenics Division at ISRO, Narayanan foresaw the need for liquid-fueled engines for ISRO's future civilian space programs and introduced the technology in India as early as the 1970s. The same technology which later he was accused of selling. In 1992, ISRO finalized a deal with Russia for transfer of technology to develop cryogenic-based fuels. However, due to pressure from the US and France on Russia, the deal was called off. Nonetheless, a new agreement with Russia was signed to fabricate 4 cryogenic engines without a formal transfer of technology. Tenders were floated and a consensus had already been reached with Kerala High-Tech Industries Limited, which would have provided the cheapest tender for fabricating engines. But at the peak of his career, the scientist got stuck in the ISRO spy case. Now, it all began in October 1994 when Kerala police in Thiruvananthapuram had registered a case against Mariam Rashida, a Maldivian national, under Section 14 of the Foreigners Act 1946 and Section 7 of the Foreigners Order 1948. The initial charges against her were of overstaying in India following the cancellation of her flight to Maldives. Following her interrogation, the police made out a case that she had contacted ISRO space scientists who were suspected of having transferred cryogenic engine technology to Pakistan through her. And the following month, the police arrested Narayanan and another ISRO scientist, D. Sasikumaran. But that's not it. The case was used to the hilt by the then opposition parties and detractors of the then Congress Chief Minister K. Karunakaran within his own party. Karunakaran was eventually forced to step down from the office and was replaced by A.K. Antony. It also unsettled the career of a senior Indian police service officer, Raman Srivastava, against whom Karunakaran refused to take action without sufficient evidence of involvement, despite tremendous political pressure that led to his own ouster. Over the next few months, Nambi's dignity and reputation were torn to shreds. He was charged with violating India's official secrets laws and corruption, among other things. Whenever he was taken to a court hearing, crowds appeared shouting that he was a spy and a traitor. He was tortured and made to take lie detector tests. The strange part, the results are still not admitted as evidence in Indian courts. But a month after his arrest, India's Central Bureau of Investigation took over the case from Kerala's Intelligence Bureau. The CBI in its probe had held that the then top police officials in Kerala were responsible for Narayanan's illegal arrest. Nambi, who was given a clean sheet by the CBI, maintained that the Kerala police had fabricated the case and the technology he was accused to have stolen and sold in the 1994 case did not even exist at that time. He was finally granted bail. The case cost Nambi his career and over 2 decades of his life in academic work. Mr. Narayanan went back to work for ISRO, though now in an admin role in Bangalore, but his travails didn't come to an end. Even after the detectives closed the case, the local government tried to reopen it and dragged in the Supreme Court, which finally dismissed the case in 1998. When Mr. Narayanan sued the Kerala government for framing him, he was awarded 5 million rupees. The government said it would pay him an additional 13 million rupees as compensation for his illegal arrest and harassment. But from Nambi's point of view, the story is not finished yet. In 2018, the Supreme Court ordered an investigation into the role of the Kerala police in the fabrication of the case against him. In Nambi's own words, one chapter is over, but the next chapter is still there. Whatever it is, his career, honor, dignity, and happiness all were lost. And the people who were responsible for this are still scot-free. The motive for the plot against him and 5 others still remains a mystery.